Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different artist, different band, and we listen to all of their records, and then we rank them from worst to best. We give our biggest banger from each of them, possibly a stinker if we have them, and we try to have a good time doing that. Before we do that, though, we usually do the 6 Degrees of Tom DeLonge, which I didn't do this week. Did you do any?
I mean...
Or is it just too easy?
It was too easy. I think the most notable thing that's maybe not like as obvious, but Gabe McNair, the guy that plays trombone for No Doubt.
Yes.
I mean, he's played with a slew of musicians, including The Offspring, The Vandals, Zebrahead, No Doubt, Dream Car. I mean, the guy's done a lot of stuff. He plays trombone,
Yeah.
So easy
peasy. I mean, I guess we are doing the 6 Degrees with Tom DeLonge, but so off the top of my head, we start with Adrian, who was one of the backup drummers for the Vandals, just in case Josh Freese wasn't able to do it. Yeah, I think Adrian's like third in line, and he played with them a bunch of times, and then go from the Vandals to Josh Freese to Blink to Tom. There you go, easy peasy right there.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
But oh yeah, duh, we're doing No Doubt today. Obviously, if you didn't read the title already, we're doing No Doubt. So we're gonna rank all 6 of their records. We're not doing the Disneyland demos because Jeff was fusty. We're not doing the B-side compilation from the Rocksteadies. So we're just doing their 6 albums. So yeah, let's just start with your number 6, Jeff. What do you got? Go.
Push and Shove. Easy number 6. Easy number 6. Easy number 6. 6 album, 2012. It was a good pop album. It's fine. I think it's clear, and had been clear by this point, that No Doubt was just around now to be a side project for Gwen Stefani. And while there's nothing wrong with that, but like we should be calling it what it is. This is not No Doubt anymore. These are programmed drums. I don't know why Adrian's even fucking involved in this. Tom's guitar is barely noticeable. It's but it's a good pop album. Good pop tunes, great melodies. But again, just not what I'm looking for in my No Doubts.
Agreed. It's also my number 6. Did you have any bangers off this one?
No. There were songs that I thought were good, but not good enough for me to playlist because they're not good enough. They're not good No Doubt songs, and they're not good Gwen Stefani pop album songs.
Agreed. I don't know why they made this. I don't know who this was for, except just themselves, or maybe to make a quick buck to go on. Maybe just have a record that they put out so they can go out on a tour, so it's not like a nostalgic act. Maybe that was a big reason why they put this record out. It just doesn't seem like they were a band making a record. It just seemed like you said, like it was Gwen and maybe one of the, like maybe Tony's like side project. And it's like all electronic, which is fine. That's fine. I just, like you said too, when I want to hear No Doubt, I want to hear other things. I want to hear them more of a ska thing, more of a reggae thing, more of just a rock punk thing. That's what I want to hear with No Doubt. But you get none of that here. And the songs are long. It clocks in, I think, at almost an hour, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just, it goes nowhere. None of the songs are really, they don't catch my attention really at all. And honestly, there are quite a few No Doubt songs that are filler for sure. And most of them are on this record. So Push and Shove, it's just, there's no reason for it. So that's my number 6. No banger. Not that they're bad, just no banger.
Okay.
So what do you got for number 5?
Here we go. Here's where we get into the stuff that I enjoy thoroughly, like through and through. But Beacon Street, baby, number 5, second album.
Okay. Low, but okay.
There's definitely a spot in their discography for this one. This came out at a very trying time for the band, right? They're struggling for success and they're just not getting it. And this album flopped like their first album kind of did. And the world was still coming down from, Cobain and the the grunge kind of on its way out and the overall change in direction for rock music in 94. So releasing an album in 95 that's very regional, very niche, that's damn near suicide anyway. These songs have great parts, but I don't think they're that great as a whole. Just fine. Gwen's writing songs here because Eric is on his way out and he stopped recording, stopped showing up to rehearsals because he's kind of upset on their direction. And the other band has to kind of step in and write music. So I think it's a little disjointed in the direction of the songs. Some of the songs don't make sense. A lot of songs flow from this crazy poppy verse to a slow, dramatic, heavier chorus, which it could be fine if they worked on the transition between the two, but it just doesn't. It's a weird thing, and I think this is a B-side album because these songs just aren't. They're not that great. They're just really not that great. And over the years I've tried to get into this one, and it's just not their best work by any means. Total Hate, that's probably my favorite one. That one's got Bradley on it. Yeah. But even that song, dude, the transition from the fast punk thing, which is the most aggressive thing they've ever done on an album. Mm-hmm. But the transition from that is just it's weird. It just starts up out of nowhere, and this isn't a band that can do it well. They just don't do those type of transitions well. They know how to groove, and when they're in it, they can do it. But the transitions they don't know how to do very well. So, all right, Beacon Street.
Okay, all right. That's your number 5. My number 5 is this one dropped a lot, and I do have this on vinyl, and I probably will purge it. And that is Return of Saturn, 4th album from 2000. There's just a ton of filler on here. It's long. There are some absolute bangers. Ex-Girlfriend, I think that's a top 5 No Doubt song, without a doubt. And without a doubt. And there's something I want to talk about on the main episode, which I won't get too much into right now, but they're a singles band. That's what they are. And we'll get into that later. But this album, it's just mostly all filler. I forget where I'm at. I forget where a song starts and ends. It's just a lot of the same here outside of the singles. But yeah, Ex-Girlfriend is my banger off this. And Bathwater is good too, which is another single. But I don't know. Return of Saturn, they had so much to live up to. They had so much pressure after doing Tragic Kingdom, and I just feel like they fell really flat on this one.
Okay.
And I will probably purge this one.
Okay.
Probably will.
Those are opinions that are wrong, but that's okay. That's fine.
So yeah, Return of Saturn, my number 5. What do you got for number 4?
Number 4 is Rocksteady.
Okay.
I only put this one above Beacon Street because I like this direction that they went in. But my biggest problem for me is how fast this one tapers off into being just meh at best. But the first half of this album is fucking untouchable. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's great. All the way to In My Head, which is good.
That's a good song.
The last 3 songs, those last 3 songs are just not very good. I love them doing a more dance forward album like this with heavy rhythms, great bass lines. I love this record a lot, and I think they achieved the sound absolutely perfectly. I think they pulled it off flawlessly. This is not a pop album. This is a rock band doing a more pop centric kind of genre, but it's not a pop album. They're still a rock band at this point. Yeah. And songs like In My Head prove they still keep their punk edge, because that's kind of a punkier song on the album.
A little bit. It's one of the better songs for sure.
But don't let me down. Don't Let Me Down. That one hit me harder this week. Produced by Rick Ocasek, and it shows. It's an incredible track, and it just furthers Rick's legendary status as a producer and songwriter. And I've been getting more and more into the Cars, and the Cars are tough for me because I just don't like that genre of music all that much. But goddamn, dude, some of the stuff that guy has touched is just, it's unreal.
His extracurriculars are pretty fucking good. I mean, Everything Will Be All Right in the End. Come on, by Weezer, that Weezer record.
I mean, that's not the only Weezer record he
Come on. But. Well, that's the best Weezer record he did. Okay. That's true. It's better than Blue. Okay. That record is better than Blue. It is.
We are just saying so many stupid fucking things today.
You're getting stuck. You're getting stuck in a place. And
not at all. I love Rocksteady. I love Rocksteady. Then Rocksteady.
You got a lot of goggles on right now.
Not at all. Because
I meant more Weezer goggles.
Oh well, that's no, that's not. I like everything will be all right in the end. It's not better than Blue or Pinkerton. That's stupid. That's
better than Blue.
That's just being a dumb. Come on, don't be silly. Don't be silly boy here.
Oh, okay.
Rocksteady, number 4. That's where it should be.
All right, my number 4 is also Rocksteady. We did this record almost actually a week ago, a year and a week ago to the day we did Rocksteady on the podcast.
How weird.
Yeah, right. And I found like this kind of newfound love for the record. Not to say like I think it's a great record because it's fine. Like you said, it kind of does taper off. It has a lot of filler, like most of the records do. But there are some absolute bangers on here. Songs that, I didn't like when they came out, but songs like Hella Good, dude, I just love the way that song sounds. Like everything sounds kind of electronic and manufactured, but it works. Like it sounds heavy, like in an electronic way. It's fucking good. And then also just the way, after like taking a dive into this record and how it was made, where it was made, it just gives it a whole different feel. And I thought it was so cool the way they recorded this record and just the behind the scenes of it. And some of the songs are just absolute fucking bangers. So many different influences. What?
That song is so good. Hella Good is so
Hella
good.
Good is really good.
Hella Good is
yeah,
hella good.
That chorus, as synthy as it is, that chorus drops so fucking hard. It's such a simple, melody line too. It's
fucking called Hella Good, dude. Nobody in Southern California, anybody south of Florida, like Stockton or some shit, says hella.
Yeah.
Dumb. Love that. Love it.
And it's so fucking catchy. It's so much fun to sing. In my head, also another absolute banger off the record. But my favorite song on this record, it's a top 5 as well. A top 5 No Doubt song. And you hate me for it, but I don't care. It's Running. I love the song Running so much.
It's so dumb. This is like your dumb fucking thing.
It's such a beautiful song. It's so good.
That Jimmy Ruled song's like top 5, and then you think like
5,
Cisco
5, 5?
Kid is your fucking favorite Sublime thing. You just say dumb shit, I think, for the sake of either just irritating me or wanting to be so unique and different that no one will question it because it's so fucking stupid.
How is it being... No, okay.
Because it's not top 5 No Doubt song. Get the fuck out of here. And Cisco Kid,
is top 5 No Doubt.
Dude, Cisco Kid is like so obscure. It's like, I just hope that if I say a really obscure like Sublime song, no one will question it. They'll think that I fucking know like deep cuts of Sublime.
Okay.
No, that's stupid.
Okay.
Come on, get the fuck out of here with your Cisco Kid.
Okay, you're a little out of control, but that's fine. We'll bring you back down. We'll bring it back down here. So Running is a fucking single. It's not like this like fucking deep ass track. I'm not trying to be fucking cool by saying Running is great because it actually is a great song. But I'm not being one of those douchebags that's just picking a deep track. Cisco Kid, I'm sorry. Their singles, Sublime singles, are really, really fucking overrated. A lot of the shit on 40 Ounces is good, but it's not great. Cisco Kid just sits as this like unique little nugget within Robin the Hood, and I'm not just being this like hipster douchebag guy. Like there are reasons. 100%
what you're being.
No, because if I was, I would be more consistent with my douchebaggery. But I'm not consistent. I'm not consistent.
Running.
I'm a wild
card.
I'm a wild card, baby.
Cisco Kid.
555 was a single from Jimmy World.
You are anything but a wild card.
I am a wild card. That's just the way she goes. It's the way she goes, boys. But anyway, Running, banger of a song. I don't know why you hate it. You're just silly. Just silly. It's silly boy talk. Saying that you hate the song.
It's not a good song.
Oh, you're so dumb. But anyway, 0-2. What's your number 3?
No Doubt's No Doubt. No Doubt.
No Doubt's No Doubt.
The first album, 92.
Okay.
So here we go. This one's, I can describe this in like one word, and that's charm. This album has tons of charm. It's not they're best. They're not reinventing anything here. It just has a fuck ton of charm. It starts off with Tony doing his best, kind of like middle ground slap bass, and also still kind of like being a punker a little bit. And it's charming. It's not great, but it's kind of like better than what you're probably used to if you're into this type of music. And this is the early 90s, right? So we're still kind of not popular here, and that's fine. A lot of Gwen middle of the road vocals, but that's where at this time that's what she does best. Those not highs, not lows. She'll perfect it on Tragic Kingdom. So in this kind of like straightforward, more punker mentality, her middle of the road vocals is what she should be doing. It just sounds like a kid in a band having fun. Everyone else, same thing. And then Eric doesn't do too much like fluffy shit with his keyboards. It's just kind of like straightforward keys. He's not getting fancy. He's not getting crazy with sounds and doing a lot of like synth bullshit. It's just kind of like straightforward, like nuanced keyboard. And I like that. I dig that. And they got some fucking bangers on this one too. Obviously, like Trapped in a Box is probably going to be the easiest choice because it's not just like an easy pick. It's a fucking goddamn good song. That is a top 5 Sublime song. Or not Sublime. No doubt. Not their best song, but it's top 5. No doubt just has charm. And that's something that's difficult to do with albums. And this is produced by them. This is like written by them. I mean, mostly Eric, but it's it's charming. It's charming. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, my number 3 is also No Doubt. No Doubt's No Doubt. So, what is your banger off of this one?
I like Paulina a lot. Like if I let's just not pick Trapped in a Box. So like Paulina, because I like the back and forth, and then I like the ding ding ding. Ding, 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 ding. Like a little Beatles thing there, and it's cool. Mm-hmm. It's cute.
It is. It really is.
Paulina, on the cover of a magazine. Paulina, dude, Paulina's so good. Paulina's my biggest banger. Better than Trapped in a Box. Not really.
Okay, you're getting wild. You're getting too wild here.
I do get wild. Get wild.
All right, so yeah, like I said, No Doubt dropped to my number 3 for like. A couple years ago, if you had asked me, I would say this is my favorite No Doubt record. Over the last couple years, much like Sublime, this band is I've just kind of not liked them as much as I used to, and this record is definitely one of those things. It's a little too just like, I don't want to say circusy or campy, but it's just kind of a lot of the same, which isn't bad because, I mean, we listen to fucking punk records and metal records where a lot of it sounds the fucking same. It just, I don't know, maybe it just sounds a little too cheesy at times on this record. And not to say that the members in the band are bad, because all of them are great musicians. And there are some absolute bangers on here. I mean, my favorite song is Trapped in a Box. And I think, or I actually know, it's not I think, I know Trapped in a Box is the best No Doubt song. Like, come on.
I mean, you don't know a lot of things, and I will say that you also don't know that either, so.
Oh, damn. But it is the best song, and but it's a pretty one-dimensional record. Very straightforward ska, with some pop and everything. But really, it's only like more pop-centric because you have Gwen, you have a female vocalist, which you don't see a ton of in any genre, really, unless you're doing straight-up bubblegum pop.
We'll get into really good song. We'll get into how much I think Gwen Stefani's fucking underrated, especially in this early '90s Riot Girl movement. Like why Gwen Stefani is completely underrated.
I'm not saying she's overrated by any means, but
he's underrated.
Well, I know, but the way you're kind of throwing it out there makes it seem like I think she's overrated.
I do,
and I don't appreciate that.
If you don't think she's underrated, you think she's overrated, and that's what you said, and I don't like that.
I didn't say that at all. I didn't say.
Okay, so there you go.
Oh my god. But yeah, No Doubt's No Doubt. I mean, it's a great debut record for any band, and it's just unfortunate that they put this record out in '92 in the midst of grunge season. I mean, really. I mean, you couldn't get more in the middle of grunge season than in 1992. So of course it's going to fall by the wayside, and it took many years for fans to even really recognize it. But it's solid, good stuff. I do enjoy No Doubt. I'm not going to purge this from my collection. I do have it on the vinyls. And yes, Trapped in a Box is their best song.
I mean, so, it's not their best song. It's so good. And it's really wild for this album too.
It's out of control.
Right. This album is very straightforward. It's really, really good. And it's it's unreal that it did not, even like in the scene of third wave ska, that's can be incredibly goofy. This isn't that goofy. There's some really cool stuff that's going on here that is not goofy third wave ska, but Trapped in a Box is on another level.
Yeah, and they did a music video for it. I mean, they filmed it themselves and everything. But I mean, there was a music video that submitted it to MTV and various other outlets. Barely got any airplay on like local TV, I guess just TV at the time. But yeah, that video, this album did absolutely nothing for the band, which I'll get into, momentarily. So what do you got for number 2? Go.
Number 2 is the album that you apparently hate. I don't know why you hate it. Doesn't make any sense. But Return of Saturn. And I've always liked Return of Saturn, but I never liked it. Number 2 liked it until this week. And I've realized like Return of Saturn takes the dancey kind of more aggressive reggae things that Rocksteady did and then put it into like No Doubt style. These are a little bit more punkier songs. They're kind of like back to the roots. It's a lot. It's 60 minutes. I get it's long, but imagine like No Doubt mixed with Rocksteady. You get Return of Saturn. I think this album is deep. I don't think it gets any kind of. I don't think it gets okay.
You don't feel like it
I don't think it gets
really?
okay until like halfway
lulls?
through. I think there are lulls, but I don't think at no point do I think like I want to skip this song. They're always interesting because if it's not like Ex-Girlfriend, Simple Kind of Life, and Bathwater, those are the first 3 singles and those are the first 3 songs. Like those are just like untouchable. And so when you get past that, you kind of think like, oh man, I'm like kind of coming down from that high. But like Artificial Sweetener, Too Late, like some of these songs are deep. They're deep cuts, and deep into these songs, they get a groove going. And so now it's not just like Tony in the front with that crazy bass line and Gwen singing over it. You kind of hear like Tom and Adrian play together. You hear kind of like a back and forth between the two. And Tony's actually calming down and just playing rhythm as the bass should be playing, as most people would say. Playing easy stuffs. Shut up.
Even though all we talk about is how much we love squirrely bass players and all that kind of shit. And yet you love this. And it goes like Return of Saturn goes to show that they were clearly at this point, the record label had so much involvement with the track listing and a lot to do with the image of the band, because why else would they throw the first 3 singles as the first 3 tracks? I mean, that is an extremely pop record kind of way of going about things. Like when we did Britney Spears, a year and a half ago, all of her records, all the singles were up front, were within the first 5 tracks. That's just how it was, because that would keep the attention of people, and then that's all that mattered, was just like, okay, if we put the first 5 here, people are going to buy the record, and then they won't really bitch about all the filler afterward. Yeah. And I feel like that's what happened to Return of Saturn.
And that's fine.
And it was more about selling records than it was making a good album.
But the album is good. And the fact that the first 3 songs are like the quote-unquote best singles on the record just shows that like this band is deeper than that. And they wanted so bad to have like another Tragic Kingdom and more money, because they were not successful until Tragic Kingdom, and they were barely successful at that. It just came a little bit after, and it blew up so fast. They had no time to even like, holy shit, I cannot believe how fast it's like. Tragic Kingdom is so much bigger than people even fucking realize. It's not, Tragic Kingdom isn't huge. Regional. It's not California. They sold 16 million copies. That's not like a small number. And so these kids are still like figuring out like, how the fuck do we even deal with this kind of success from Tragic Kingdom? But they're already writing songs for their next stuff. And so some of these songs were written during kind of like that explosion of Tragic Kingdom, before they sold the 10 million, before they sold the 5 million even. This is the direction that the band was heading in no matter what. And you can hear it on Tragic Kingdom. Some of the deeper cuts in Tragic Kingdom, which you're probably going to say later on, see, this is a singles band. These deeper cuts and these last tracks are fucking not that good because they're boring and they're not 16 or spiderwebs.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
Okay. That's what you say. That's what you sound like to me. Stupid voice. So they're already going in that direction. It's just you gotta take the time. You gotta put the time in. If you want to put in the time, then you do the time or something.
Wow,
I can think of anything that rhymes with time. Good. Slime. You can't do the time, then you're fucking slime.
Gonna get slime.
Then you're Lyme disease.
This has gone off the rails. All right.
Dude, like honestly, I think maybe like listen to Return of Saturn again, but just skip the first 3 tracks. See how that does.
But how
skip
can you not
the most
want,
popular
songs? How can you not listen to Ex-Girlfriend?
That's good.
Oh.
Simple Kind of Life's a fucking banger too, and that's all Gwen.
It is a good
that's
song.
That's a Gwen song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Man, I remember seeing that video.
Dude, the video's amazing.
God, that video was played all the time, especially on VH1. Oh my God, that's all they fucking played on VH1 was Simple Kind of Life. But whatever. Yeah, so that was your number 2 is Return of Saturn.
Let's hear
Wrong,
Beacon Street, baby.
It's what?
So let's hear your Beacon Street arguments.
I will say too, with Return of Saturn, I'll give it one last listen on the vinyls. I'll make my decision whether or not I'm going to purge it, because I don't know when I'm ever going to go back to it. Outside of Ex-Girlfriend, I don't know.
Can you do me one favor in your life?
What?
You never done me no favors. Can you do me one favor?
Well, that's not true, dude.
Can you do me one favor? Listen to it one more time, but skip the first 3 songs.
Oh, okay, I'll do it. It's not a favor, and don't think of it as a favor. I'm not. That's not a favor. I'm just going to do it. Okay.
Well, if I'm telling you to do it, that's a favor, so that's fine.
Well, it's not. That's wrong. It's not a favor unless I say it's a favor.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. Let's.
Right.
We're almost done here.
Okay.
My number 2, Beacon Street Collection from 1995, second record. This one, it's kind of a mess of a record, and I love it for it. I love that it was more of a punk, raw sounding record. They kind of dropped quite a bit of the campiness of the first record. It seemed like they were trying to be more serious. Maybe they were pissed off, and they actually were pissed off because they got no support from the record label Interscope, and they're like, you know what, fuck it, fuck you guys.
Anything.
It didn't sell anything, and they got nothing for it, and so they decided, let's just make a makeshift studio in our garage in Anaheim, and we'll just record this record. And they did it super quick in their garage, and then they put it out, and it ended up selling, I think, 3 times as much as the first record did up until Tragic Kingdom
because of Tragic Kingdom. When Tragic Kingdom started selling,
well, okay, yeah,
then they started selling.
But even still, it sold up front. It sold more than No Doubt's No Doubt.
Yeah, because
but also
sold 5 copies and it sold 6 copies. And it's not a punk record because they got someone else to come produce it. And the best songwriter left the band.
That's
and
true.
The only punk song
Eric
on
was
this.
still, but Eric
shitty
was still
punk song
involved.
They shared with Bradley Noel.
I'm not okay. Oh my God, I'm not saying like it's a punk record. I've been saying it's more punk inspired.
This is the most alt rock record they've ever done.
It's not an alt rock record.
Dude, there's no song on here that is punk except for the one with Bradley, and they fucked it up, and it sounds like shit. It's not even good.
But even like a song like "Open the Gate," yeah, it has a lot of pop, a pop ska things going on here, but it's still more. It's more dynamic, and it's not a lot of the same like they were doing on No Doubt's No Doubt. And Open the Gate and Total Hate are my 2 bangers off this record.
Oh, you fucking made fun of me for Total Hate.
No, I didn't make fun of you.
Hey, you said, because Bradley's on it.
Yeah, but that's not the reason why I like this song. It's not. Bradley's barely even noticeable. He doesn't even sound like him.
Except
in
the end.
But yeah, when it slows down, when it goes like halftime, and it becomes like a reggae song.
It even says like, Sublime Styley, because I'm Bradley, and I sing like. I love Bradley. No, I shouldn't say that.
And that part was so lame.
That's what they do. Dude.
That part when at halftimes, it's just like, oh, dude, why do you? This is like, that's what I don't like about Sublime is when you do that kind of shit.
But it was cute in '95 when like no one else was doing it, and they're like networking with each other. It was fucking dope in '95.
I get it, but it's so lame now. It's like that's how a lot of 40 Ounces to Freedom is. That's why that record is just, it's good, but it's not great. Like Robin the Hood and Sublime.
You're fucking nuts, dude. You are absolutely fucking bonkers.
I don't make the rules, man. That's just the way she goes. But yeah, Beacon Street is my number 2. Oh, also fun little fact too. Beacon Street came out and then I think 8 months later, they put Tragic Kingdom out. So that turnaround right there was fucking short.
Well, hold on there, dude, because it wasn't quite like a turnaround. These songs were already pretty much done. A lot of them were. They just wanted something to release because they felt like they were falling into obscurity. It was already a hassle for them to even get any kind of money touring from their label or anything else. And so these songs were pretty much done. And And that's where they hired a producer to come in real quick, and they built their makeshift studio, not because they wanted to be punkers, but because they wanted to release the shit quick.
And that's that's cool as hell.
They
that's
wanted a
punker
quick
as shit.
buck. They wanted a quick buck.
That's punk as shit.
It's not punk as shit. It would have been punk as shit if they built their own studio and produced their own album like they did the first one. But they did not. They brought in somebody else to do it real quick and get it out as soon as possible so they can make a little bit of money.
There's nothing wrong with hiring a producer and engineer to
Then don't call them punker as shit because it's the most opposite of what a punker should be doing.
I'm not saying I'm not saying there's some like fucking gutter punk motherfuckers. It's just it's a
that is the most opposite of like a punk thing to do is build your own studio because you want to get real quick money real fast. Go to Check Into Cash if you want fucking money real quick.
Check Into Cash. That is something I don't think has been around for 20 years.
I don't know where you get fast cash now. You know what I mean? Go to one of those places.
Check Into Cash. Man, I forgot about those ads. That's all. You would see that every commercial break when you were watching TV when we were growing up.
Check Into Cash. Remember the fingertips where they like do the check mark with the fingertips? Check Into Cash.
Oh, I hated those ads. I hated those ones, and I hated the Dashers. The Dashers Insurance. Dashers.
Just some guy saying Dashers twice. Dashers.
And then it was always like the fireworks going off in the background, and like Dashers would like pop up really quick. Oh, dude, those are terrible commercials.
I mean, I loved all those commercials.
Or Survival Insurance. Remember that one too?
Are you insured? Yeah. By Survival? No. Can't take that ride. Respect to that one too. Commitment to the game. I respect that one.
Oh man, I swear, anybody who doesn't, feel like this is all Southern California shit too. But I guarantee you, this shit's probably going to be on YouTube. Go check out Survival Insurance commercials, Dashers Insurance commercials, and Check Into Cash commercials because they were just so terrible.
For sure, the Survival one because the guy's in the middle of the desert and the only like car within eye shot is like this super hot woman in a convertible coming to pick him up in the middle of the desert, and he passes on the ride because she doesn't have survival insurance, which I don't think is even around anymore.
I don't think so either. But look at this. 25 years later, we're still talking about survival. That's how effective that ad was because we're still talking about it 25 years later.
I wish there was like a Discogs for people that just wrote like jingles and then like writers for ads and things like that because that was a good commercial.
Oh, it's so dumb. But yeah, anyway, Beacon Street Collection. But we got to talk about this because we're still in Orange County season, and it all
exactly.
It all goes into this. So, yeah, Beacon Street Collection, my number 2. So obviously, Tragic Kingdom is both of our number 1s. So we'll get into that. Go listen to the main episode, and that's it. That's all.